If I'm here like this, and this guy drapes his arms across me in side control, this is bad for me. This is not good, right? When I had the guard earlier, I had my legs in between. So if my legs are in between, I have things that I can do with my legs to keep me safe, right? But if he gets past my legs, and I end up here like this in side control, this is bad because my legs don't help me anymore. So I'm kind of in a much worse position. It's not the end of the world because he's using his arms to hold me. He has control of me, but he has control of me by grabbing me with his arms, so he's not as free as say he's in the mouth. He's not as free like this. Like here, he can just blast away with his hands, and this is terrible because he's using his legs to hold me down. Does that make sense? So if I'm here like this, I'm in trouble, but it's not the end of the world. But my first concern is make safe and don't let it get worse, right? So if I just lay here with my legs down, he's going to step over and mount me, and it's going to get much, much worse for me. No good, right? If I hug him with my arms like this and just squeeze the shit out of him, he's going to elbow me in the face with his left hand quite a bit, and that's bad for me. So I got to put my hands and my legs and my body in smart positions. So the first thing I'm going to do is this. This arm's going to go inside and under his throat. I'm going to cup his tricep and squeeze my head against my fingernails like this. It's going to keep him from putting too much weight down on me because he's not going to smash down into his own throat real hard, right? And it's going to keep him from hitting me with this arm. I don't want him to be able to elbow me or punch me with his left arm. Try to hit me with his left arm. I'm holding myself against him to prevent him from hitting me with it. So if there's no space, I'm good. It's difficult for him to punch me or headbutt me with the other arm in his head because I'm holding on to this. It's difficult for you to punch yourself in the armpit. Right? So I'm holding this position. This arm is going to do the exact same thing on his hip bones because I don't want him driving into me too much. And I'm going to cup his hip like this. Right? So frame and cup, just like that. This is going to keep him from walking around my head towards north-south. Don't switch, just walk with baby steps. Look, he takes little baby steps towards my head. I can keep myself with him if I need to. The reason I want to stop him from doing it is if he walks around to north-south like this, and we're talking about a real fight, he can just knee me in the head until I die. This is terrible for me. In a real fight, you can't let anybody get to north-south. Nowadays in tournament, it's not as bad. Nowadays in MMA, it's not as bad because there's no knees to the head on the ground. So you see people getting slack about allowing this. You cannot let this happen in a fight. You're going to die if they get to north-south in a fight, right? So when I'm here, I'm thinking about those two things. Frame the neck, cup, head against my fingernails to stop the punches. This arm goes inside his waist and holds here. If he tries to knee me in the head with his left knee, I can put a little pressure on his hip and generally stop most of it. But if he pulls that leg so far away that I feel like I'm reaching, I never like to reach because I don't want my arms to get extended. If he reaches that far away, I'll just cover my head. So if he hits my arm. And then when he puts his knee back down, back to this, right? The only other thing I'm worried about is him advancing position. Right, so I've stopped, I've made myself safe in this position, relatively, but now I've got to worry about him advancing. He's going to advance by putting his knee on my belly, that is no good, and he's going to advance by just throwing his leg like he's getting over a motorcycle, bump, and sit up on the mount. So I'm going to stop those two things like this. I'm going to put my knee against his hip and just let it sit there. I don't need both, but I got to have one like this. If he tries to just pop his knee up on my belly, I put my elbow and my knee together and I block him out. When he goes back down, I sit nice and easy in this position, right? If he gets all excited and tries to throw his leg over, I'll keep it in his way so he can't step over. Does that make sense? So if he tries to pop up, I put my elbow and my knee together. If he tries to throw his leg over, I just kind of let my thigh be in his way. He's going to try to go to north-south. He's going to try to punch me, kick me, knee me, headbutt me, mount me, whatever. I'm just going to make safe under here. Because if you can't survive the position that you're in, you have no business talking about advancing. It's all the position. Does that make sense? Grab your partner. Side control, safety, position. I'm going to do do something. I'm gonna do something totally ridiculous. I'm gonna do something that you're gonna have to write it down and remember it in your head to make yourself practice it, because it will never fucking happen again in this room, in this gym. The reason that it will never happen in this gym is people that are in this gym are not stupid, or they're not stupid for long after they get here. Do you know what I mean? So like, guys don't make dumbass mistakes in the gym because they understand, oh, ooh, okay, that's a stupid move because of ABC. The problem is idiots outside that want to beat your ass don't know all the things that are stupid, so they do dumb shit, right? And if you get a guy that does something ridiculous and you're not prepared for it, you're going to go, beat up by somebody that sucks, and that's your own fault. So what we got to do is this. What we got to do is this. We got to look at something that some asshole outside might do, but no one in here will ever do. And what some asshole outside might do is get frustrated about this whole situation and just go to sit up because he's tired of this. Because he wants to hit me in the head, so he wants to pull his arm out. Like, he can't pull his arm out. So he might go, you know what? Rah! And just sit up tall and go to pull his arm out like this. You see what he did? If you're holding on well, you're not trying to hold him down. You're trying to hold yourself to him. Does that make sense? So if I'm sitting here in this position and he pulls himself all the way up like that, look, I'll put my hand on the ground and get up this. You see it? Now, don't think this is an escape side control on a good dude. This is not escape side control on a good dude. On a good guy, this is the dumbest thing you could ever wait for to happen. But outside, you'd be stunned. You'd be stunned at what happens when I go to hit him and I can't. And I fuck, man, and they just get bent and go, you know what? I'm gonna beat your ass, and then ruh-roh. You know what I mean? So I want you to practice that. You clearly would never do this. And in the gym, in sport, in tournament, in competition, you're never gonna see this. But honestly, it'll happen all the time outside because some asshole doesn't know you're not supposed to do that. Does that make sense? So they'll pull back out of frustration. If they pull back, don't sit there and waste energy trying to hold them down. Just get right up. It's getting up. It's literally this. That makes sense? And then up and down. Grab a part and say it.